Like Sam Hauser, I think has been, played great. He's been the most consistent guy there right now, which I think is huge to have one of those good. But, you go down like 9 through 15 and it's kind of been trick or treat for that stuff. And so that, to me, that's like not a huge deal at this point since it's early and everyone's healthy. But I do think part of the equation here is trying to plan for, okay, injuries are going to happen. Like there's injury prone players still on this roster or guys that you just want to rest regardless. And do we have all our, holes filled on that front? And so trying to figure out more of what these guys can do at the bottom of the roster in the next couple of months before those decisions are made, I think is certainly a big part of the equation there, since early on, a lot of them haven't, especially a guy like Brissett, Lamar Stevens has only gotten a couple chances, but by and large, I think the bench is underwhelmed as a whole.
Hauser's the one that I expect Peyton Pritchard to rebound. Shooter's got to shoot, obviously. He's going to find his rhythm. It's going to happen. He's, as we talked about plenty in the offseason, he's playing 20 minutes a game. I wouldn't be surprised if that number climbs a little bit, even he stays in that 20 to 25 window with regularity, especially, when inevitably guards miss time. Derek White missed time with the birth of a child, and, guys are going to miss time for whatever personal reasons or injuries. And so it's only going to up potential Peyton minutes. But Hauser's the one that I spent so much time, B-Rob, any listeners of this show know, I spent so much time last year talking about how, man, when you lost to the Warriors, you really could have used a guy like Hauser off the bench. I mean, he could have potentially shot you out of some of those situations where the offense was stagnant. And fine, he's a rookie. He didn't really play during the regular season, didn't get that opportunity. You just sort of accept that. But last year was the opportunity to play him enough so that when the playoffs rolled around, he wasn't cold. He wasn't lacking confidence. He wasn't, afraid of the moment, whatever it may be. And he could go out there and at least potentially be that guy. He could give you the opportunity to be that guy. And I don't know if this is going from coach to coach to coach, if it was, Joe didn't really trust him or just whatever. He was not part of the rotation come the playoffs. It just didn't happen. And they really could have used him when they were eliminated by Miami. So now he's playing and he's shooting well. He has a little bit of a slow start, but he's shooting almost 50%, 45% from three. He's playing about 20 minutes a game. He's averaging about 10 points. You would think he's a fixture in the rotation simply because they lack depth as compared to last year. They're much more top heavy than they were in previous seasons. And that's fine. That's good. It's a different type of roster construction. They're trying something that is more in line with what the rest of the league does. And I like it. I'm good with it. But can I believe that Hauser is going to play when they actually need him versus, no, we're just going to have a 6-man rotation. If we've got all our guys and Hauser, you're not part of it.
Yeah, it's a fascinating question because I feel like Hauser played this well to start last year too in the regular season.
Right.
And then, he kind of hit a blip midway through the season. And I think his trajectory last year kind of was like the rest of the team where like they came out great and then it was like, they didn't build on anything in the second half of the year. And that kind of obviously showed itself in the playoffs in terms of, some bad losses, some really tough situations, and then the Miami situation we don't really have to rehash. But yeah, I think it's a huge question. Like, when push comes to shove, is he going to be able to play 10 or 15 minutes off the bench in the playoffs? Like, maybe not every game, but like enough to the point where he can hit the shots he needs to. And he played 15 games in last year's playoffs. I'm looking at it now, but he only averaged 7 minutes in those games. So like a lot of those were just like garbage time appearances.
Yeah.
And
like, can't he beat Duncan Robinson or even a little bit better than that?
Exactly. Like, and the theory is, in year 3, as he grows into it, the hope is like, yes, because it's like he is the perfect part to have around a Jason Tatum in terms of like he stays in his lane, he doesn't take dumb shots, he doesn't turn over the ball, and he hits threes. So that's the guy you want to make teams think twice about double teaming Jason Tatum or just think twice about giving more attention to Porzingis as opposed to whatever there. So whether he can earn Joe Mazzulla's trust here over the course of the next couple months, and I think it's going to be huge because if not, then that's certainly an area you're going to have to be like, all right, do we have to get someone better that we trust at the trade deadline in this kind of, 3-4-ish type role off the bench if we don't think Hauser's the guy when push comes to shove.
FanDuel is the exclusive wagering partner of the CLNS Media Network. Right now, new customers Get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 moneyline bet. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL.
If you look at some of his splits from last year too, I pulled it up and it's like, yeah, he started the year on fire in October, 56% from three on 3 a game. He only really had a dip in the middle of December and January. It was 28% from 3 in December, 31% from 3 in January. Then finished off February 49% on 5 attempts a game. March 42.6, so 43. And then April 43% on 8.8 attempts a game. That's just 4 games in April, so it doesn't really mean a lot. Like he
a lot of attempts though.
Yeah, I mean he I think it's just about consistency for him. If he can stay consistent, I mean, obviously there are going to be shooting woes throughout the year. It's just it's a game of variance, but like he is a tremendous shooter. And if he's given the opportunity to play with these guys, he's going to have wide open looks all the time. I mean, all the time. And as an open 3-point shooter, he's very good. I think Mazzulla's going to have to, and maybe it's a little bit pandering to other guys on the roster last year. You got to play smart, you got to play Grant, or like whatever. I don't know. I'm not inside the wall.
It was crowded. It was crowded rotation last year for especially the playoffs.
I think it's interesting, Kaufman. I thought it was interesting, first couple of games, and I think it's still it seems like Hauser's role is pretty set in stone right now. I mean, the first couple of games, he was one of the first guys off the bench. He is solidified in that top 8, top 7. So at this point, I would say, he's going to be a guy that's going to be relied on throughout the year. For him, it's just going to be a matter of being consistent and trying to make sure that he gets, the process is good. Whether the shot's going or not, that's going to come and go, but the process being good. Can that be consistent through 82 games? Because he's going to have plenty of opportunity, right? Somebody's got to come in between the Stevenses and the Brissetts and the Hausers and the, we'll see what happens to Jordan Walsh down in Maine. There are minutes to be played on the wing because they have 2 absolute stud wing guys that can't play 48 minutes a game. There's going to be opportunities for these guys to play. Hauser is by far the leader in the clubhouse for the most reliable wing player they have. And it's just about him, just staying consistent. In year 3, he's had some ups, he's had some downs, but it's going to be about, staying level. And I think, Mazzulla doesn't pull the plug on him too early like he has in the past. I think it's going to be all right. I'll say this though, Kaufman, his role is going to be vitally important for the reasons you discussed. He's going to make life easier for everybody in an ideal world, right? Offensively.
With the busy fall season already in swing, you might be looking for wholesome, convenient meals for jam-packed days. Factor, America's #1 ready-to-eat meal kit, can help you fuel up fast with chef-prepared, dietitian-approved, ready-to-eat meals delivered straight to your door. Head to factormeals.com/newsfeed50 and use code newsfeed50 to get 50% off. That's code newsfeed50 at factormeals.com/newsfeed50 to get 50% off.